Leo was famous in our circle for being a doting husband. For me, he turned down a marriage alliance arranged by his family and spoiled me rotten for 3 years straight. But at his bachelor party, just before our wedding, his unforgettable first love asked him if I showed up at the wedding to stop it. Would you leave with me? He looked at her seriously and said, I would. Fighting back tears, I sent a message to my best friend, an incredibly wealthy heiress. Can you get me out of here as fast as possible? 7 minutes later, my friend arrived, her tires practically spitting sparks. I told you, with your looks and personality, you should be marrying into old money and living a life of luxury. My brother is gorgeous, and my dad's still a silver fox. Take your pick. With the wedding date approaching, Leo's childhood friends threw him a bachelor party. Everyone in his inner circle knew how much he doted on me. If I wasn't there, he'd be home by 10 o'clock sharp, regardless of whether anyone else was still having fun. So this time, they enthusiastically invited me along. But the moment I walked in, I sensed something was off. Everyone greeted me warmly, yet they kept secretly shooting Leo looks. I didn't understand why. After everyone was seated, a short-haired girl arrived late. Sorry, the traffic was a nightmare, she said, her voice crisp and cheerful. The girl was tall and slim. Beside me, Leo instantly froze. It was the first time I'd ever seen an expression on someone's face that looked exactly like a skipped heartbeat. The girl extended a hand to me with a friendly smile. You must be the bride, too. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Serena. Hearing that name, everything clicked into place. This was Serena, the girl Leo had been in love with for 5 years. They said that back then, Leo wasn't the calm, composed man he was now. He had pursued her relentlessly. He'd arranged thousands of roses for her downstairs. He'd set off 100 meters of fireworks for her on a beach. His entire youth was filled with her. But 3 years ago, she decisively followed another boy to study abroad. That was when I met Leo. At a party, Leo walked towards me through the hazy lights. I'd only had half a glass of wine, but I was drunk as a skunk. I scrambled to ask my friends about him. When my friends pushed me in front of him, my tongue was tied in knots. My name is Chloe. May I ask your surname? Mr. Leo. The room erupted in laughter. The frown that had been fixed on Leo's face for months finally smoothed out. After we got together, Leo showered me with all his tenderness. He remembered everything I liked and disliked to eat. No matter how late I worked, he insisted on picking me up himself. For every holiday, I received a thoughtfully prepared gift. He posted pictures of me on his social media and introduced me to every one of his friends and family. Even his friends started to get jealous. One person plants the tree, and another enjoys the shade. Chloe, you really came along at the perfect time. Leo chased the hardest girl to get, perfected his emotional intelligence, and you just get to reap all the benefits. I never let those words bother me, because they all said that in terms of looks and personality, I was completely different from that girl. I was no one's substitute. More importantly, I could feel that Leo truly loved me. After 3 years of passionate love, he proposed to me with unwavering conviction. I thought our love story was about to have its happy ending, but just then, reality hit me with a crushing blow. Serena sat down beside me with an easy grace. She pulled a bottle of perfume from her bag and handed it to me. A wedding gift. This scent is incredibly sophisticated. I've been using it for 7 or 8 years without a change. She smiled, her eyes crinkling. I had to admit, she was tactful and had a likable personality. Even her wedding gift was for me, not for Leo. I accepted the gift and thanked her. She then took out her phone and added me as a contact. If he ever bullies you, you have to tell me. Even though Leo and I grew up together, I'm on your side, not his family's. I'll always back you up. Her friends around us clapped. That's our queen. Still as cool as ever. Serena paused, then looked past me to Leo on my other side. Hey, what's with you? It's been 3 years. Have you forgotten how to talk? The others went back to their drinks and snacks, but their eyes were glued to the 3 of us, not wanting to miss a second of the drama. Leo's ears turned visibly red. He didn't even dare to turn and look at her. He just clutched his glass and tried to be humorous. It's not that I've forgotten how to talk. I just feel like a stranger around you. I don't know what to say. Serena laughed. So you're blaming me for not contacting you for 3 years. She raised her glass to him. Then let's stay in touch from now on. Shall we? Leo glanced at me and said, I'm under strict management. If you want to contact me in the future, there's an extra step. You have to clear it with my wife first. They smiled, as if making peace, and clinked their glasses together. Everything was out in the open. No hidden meanings. Perfectly transparent. But for some reason, sitting between them, my heart felt heavy and tight. Perhaps it was because, after 3 years together, I knew Leo's body language all too well. Tonight, he was incredibly nervous. The drinks were drunk, the songs were sung, and the games were played. As the party wound down, everyone was a little tipsy. Leo lost a game to Serena and chose truth. Serena, who had been composed all evening, suddenly acted on a whim. She tilted her head, her voice a mix of tipsiness and playful defiance. If I showed up at your wedding to stop it, would you leave with me? The question sent the already excited crowd into a frenzy. Oh, finally. You two are done pretending. Yeah, this is more like it. Well, would you go with her? Leo's eyes were slightly red from the alcohol. He looked at her, his eyes swirling with emotion. He answered seriously, I would. The group exploded. Damn. I knew it. Stop the wedding. Stop the wedding. Stop the wedding. The cheers drew the attention of the entire venue. Sitting between them, I felt like I couldn't breathe. My hands started to tremble. I didn't know how to handle this mortifying situation. I escaped to the restroom, fighting back tears. I sent a message to my best friend, Zoe. Can you get me out of here as fast as possible? Zoe's call came through immediately. What's wrong? Did those jerks bully you? No. Just. Don't ask. Can you come pick me up? I felt like I was about to burst into tears. Zoe panicked, her voice booming like a drill sergeant. You just wait. I'll be there in 10 minutes. No. 7. It's not that urgent. Drive safely. Don't tell me what to do. 7 minutes later, Zoe's Bugatti came tearing in, the wheels practically spitting sparks. The moment I saw her, I couldn't hold it in anymore. My eyes welled up. Zoe took my hand, her voice simmering with rage. What did you all do to her? Leo, are you just going to stand there like an idiot? Can't you see how upset she is? Zoe was an heiress, imperious and commanding. Her arrival immediately silenced the crowd. When she spotted Serena, Zoe's gaze sharpened. Oh, so you're here. Serena stood up and took my arm, her smile overly familiar. We were just playing a game. Why so serious? I'm used to being a bit blunt. It's my first time hanging out with such a delicate girl. I guess I didn't get the balance right. My bad. Zoe yanked me behind her. Who said you could touch her? I don't think you're blunt. I think you're playing dumb. Just then, Leo sobered up. He rubbed his temples and stood up. Chloe's tired. I should take her home. Zoe sneered. I'm here now. Who needs you? You can go back to playing dead. The others stood there awkwardly as Zoe gathered my things. She grumbled as she packed. I told you. With your looks and personality, you should be marrying into old money and living a life of luxury. Why insist on suffering with this nouveau riche family? In that circle, it's all backstabbing and two-faced bitches. Is that any place for a sweet, innocent person like you? Leo's family had a net worth well into 9 figures. Calling a 9-figure family nouveau riche was a niche insult. But coming from her, no one dared to argue. Zoe finished packing and picked up my bag. She saw the elegantly wrapped perfume inside, and without asking, she pulled it out and tossed it on the floor. What is this outdated junk? You actually have the nerve to give this as a gift. The perfume bottle rolled across the floor and stopped at Serena's feet. The color drained from Serena's face. Zoe grabbed my hand and we left. Leo chased us to the door and caught my arm. Chloe, don't be angry. In that atmosphere, when she suddenly asked that question, my mind went completely blank. I looked into Leo's deep, soulful eyes and suddenly felt drained of all strength. Are you trying to say that was your gut reaction? That you meant it? That you want to be with her? Of course not. Chloe, it was just a game. If I had said no, she would have lost face in front of her friends. So to save her face, you were willing to trample on my dignity. I just gave her a polite answer. I'm giving you a marriage. I pulled my hand away, a bitter laugh escaping my lips. So I should be grateful. Leo, we've been together for 3 years, and I never realized you were such a master people pleaser. Just then, Zoe pulled the car around and laid on the horn. Leo tried to grab me again. Let me take you home. We can talk properly on the way. Zoe scowled. If you've got so much free time, why don't you take that thing of yours out and drive for Uber for a few hours? Might clear your head. Leo froze. His green plated Bentley had never felt so humiliating. I opened the car door and got in. I looked back at Leo. Our wedding is off. I think we both need to do some serious rethinking. On the way back, I scrolled through my social media. I saw that Serena had posted twice. First post. She's really not like me at all. But don't you think that just makes it more obvious you're trying to hide something? Second post. If you wanted to use the past 3 years to prove that I was wrong to leave you, well, you succeeded. The emotions I had suppressed all night finally broke through. I burst into tears. I felt like my 3 years of genuine love had been for nothing. I thought Leo's meticulous care for me came from love. I never imagined it was all a performance for her. I was just a pawn in their high-level game of emotional tug-of-war. Zoe was a straight shooter. She didn't know how to offer comforting words. Her solution was always direct. Stop crying. There are plenty of men out there. Just get a new one. My brother is gorgeous. And my dad's still a silver fox. Take your pick. After I had cried my eyes out, her words made me laugh. Zoe, am I pathetic? Having you stand up for me at a time like this. Zoe patted my head. Don't be silly. Everyone's different. My mom passed away a long time ago, leaving the 3 of us with some personality quirks. We're not good at expressing love. I was a rebellious kid. A total headache. It's not often I get to be useful, but you're a literal angel. Every day with you is like a breath of fresh air. And you're the doctor who gives the least painful shots in the whole city. When I was in the hospital, if you hadn't been there every day, patiently coaxing me, I never would have made it through. Her words were a balm. My shattered self-esteem began to piece itself back together. Zoe said, seriously, though, are you sure you don't want to marry into my family? She had said this many times before. I met Zoe when she was hospitalized. The hospital director was her attending physician, and I was his assistant. But because I had a gentle voice and a painless injection technique, Zoe willfully demanded that I become her doctor. That's how our deep friendship was forged. I was already dating Leo at the time, and Zoe regretted it every day. Why couldn't I have gotten sick a few months earlier? You were still single then. I might have had a chance to bring you home as my sister-in-law. The innocent bystander in this scenario was Asher, Zoe's brother, who had taken time off from his studies abroad to visit her. His face would turn black every time he heard her say that. Thanks to her relentless matchmaking, my relationship with Asher started at absolute zero. Whenever we ran into each other, I would awkwardly look down. He would awkwardly look up. We would both pretend not to see each other. Not long ago, Asher returned from his studies and started working at our hospital. In the office right next to mine, the arrival of this impossibly handsome, aloof, genius-level doctor sent the entire hospital into a frenzy. The nurses would find any excuse to walk past his office. The number of people calling in sick dropped dramatically. And me. I had to hold my pee all day, terrified of running into him too often in the hallway. Seeing my silence, Zoe got excited. You're quiet. Does that mean you're seriously considering it? Have you decided? My brother or my dad? My mouth twitched. If those are my only 2 options, I'd rather pick your dad. Zoe got even more excited. Great. Actually, I was thinking the same thing. My dad's older. He'll die sooner. You'll inherit his fortune. And we can hire male models every day. My brother's no good. He's a health nut with a perfect routine. He's annoyingly healthy. I'm afraid he'd outlive you. Me. The next afternoon, Zoe picked me up from the hospital right on time. As we passed Asher's office, she dragged me inside. Bro, are you working late today? Asher looked up from his computer. He was 6'3", with sharp brow bones and a straight nose. His eyes were cool and captivating. He was the kind of handsome that made you resent the genetic lottery. Asher glanced at me, his expression coolly indifferent. No. As soon as he said it, Dr. Evans, who sat across from him, looked up in surprise. Dr. Ling, I thought you were. Asher shot him a look as sharp as a laser. Dr. Evans froze and swallowed his words. Zoe asked again. So, are you going out for dinner? Asher thought for a moment. affecting a slight air of reluctance. I could. Then he stood up decisively and organized the papers on his desk. Zoe was overjoyed. Perfect. I'm taking Chloe to our house for dinner tonight. It's great you'll be out. She gets uncomfortable when you're around. Asher's movements froze. He slowly looked up at Zoe. His eyes held a strange, murderous glint. Then why don't you just take her out to eat? It's not like our food is that good, Asher said, his face dark. Their cook, Mrs. Williams, had originally been the gardener. When she got too old to dig, she applied to be the chef. Her cooking was very healthy. Zoe stood on her tiptoes and whispered in his ear. I'm taking her home to introduce her to Dad. Hee hee. You're getting a new stepmom. Aren't you happy? Aren't you surprised? Asher slowly straightened up. He looked at Zoe with the eyes of a man looking at a dead person. A few seconds later, he grabbed Zoe and started dragging her towards the CT scan room. Let's go. We need to get you scanned. Did they accidentally remove your brain during your last hospital stay? Zoe's struggles echoed down the hallway. My brain is fine, bro. Let me list the 3 benefits of having a stepmom. 1. If Dad gets married, he'll stop nagging us to get married. 2. I'll have my stepmom whisper sweet nothings in his ear to leave the company to me. That way, you can be Dr. Ling in peace. And I can be the chairwoman I've always wanted to be. Everyone wins. 3. Our stepmom is young, beautiful, and stacked. If all goes well, we'll have a baby brother by next year. The family legacy will be secure. You won't have to have kids. You could even get a vasectomy. OW. Why are you pinching me? That hurts. As we drove away from the hospital, a familiar car flashed past. I looked back. Was that Leo? Zoe was nonchalant. Nope. You're seeing things. He's probably whispering sweet nothings to his old flame in some bed right now. He's not thinking about you. I'm usually a calm person. I had intended for our breakup to be civil, but hearing her say that, I suddenly felt that civility was no longer an option. I blocked Leo on everything. Out of sight, out of mind. Asher arrived home just moments after we did. He went straight to his room to change, his face a mask of cold anger the entire time. He only emerged when Mrs. Williams brought the food to the table. When Zoe saw him, she jumped. Are you crazy? Why are you dressed like that at home? Asher sat primly at the table. He was wearing a tailored suit, his hair perfectly in place. He looked like a cold, domineering CEO. Isn't this how I always dress? Asher asked through gritted teeth. Zoe's mouth twitched several times, but she said nothing. Just then, Mr. Ling came home. He greeted me warmly and sat down at the table. Asher looked at his father's formal suit. You're not changing. Don't you usually change into a ratty old t-shirt the second you get home? Complaining about how uncomfortable suits are. Mr. Ling looked at me, then at his impeccably dressed son, and said cheerfully, it's not every day you bring a friend home. I have to look presentable. Asher's mouth twitched. 2. Dinner officially began. Asher held his half-full bowl of rice with an air of refined disdain. Move that pork knuckle and trotters away. It's too greasy. Mrs. Williams complied. Asher nibbled delicately on his green vegetables. Mr. Ling looked puzzled. Don't you usually refuse to eat a single vegetable and only eat meat? Asher froze. He looked at his father, who was methodically cutting a steak. Don't you usually use chopsticks to eat your steak? Mr. Ling was speechless. I quickly tried to smooth things over. Forks and knives can be less convenient than chopsticks. I sometimes use chopsticks for steak. 2. The atmosphere relaxed slightly. Asher continued. My dad's favorite dish is spicy fish head. He usually spits the bones all over the table. What is wrong with you today? Mr. Ling gritted his teeth, threw down his chopsticks, and left. You guys eat. I've lost my appetite. Zoe silently shoveled food into her mouth. She didn't dare speak, didn't dare ask. It was Mrs. Williams who broke the awkward silence. There's a car that's been parked outside our gate for a long time. I wonder who it's waiting for. I think it's a BYD. Hearing this, Asher immediately stood up. You guys eat. I'll go check. A moment later, Asher's voice floated up from downstairs. Mr. Zhang, go tell that green-plated car to leave. Say no one here ordered a rideshare. He's at the wrong place. And give him $500. Tell him to get a bowl of noodles down the street. It's not easy waiting all night for nothing. I whispered to Zoe. Your brother's a bit of a psycho. But he's actually a pretty nice guy. Zoe, fearing Leo would harass me at my place, insisted I stay at her house for a few days. Asher didn't object. He even offered me his room, saying it had the best sunlight. He moved into the guest room next to his father's bedroom. Zoe was amazed. My brother never lets me bring girls home, let alone let them touch his things. I was starting to think he was a misogynist. But he's being so tolerant with you. You know what that means. What does it mean? I asked. Asher, who was walking down the stairs, suddenly slowed his steps. It means that damn pair went too far. Even a cold-blooded animal like my brother feels a glimmer of sympathy. Zoe fumed. If you don't have anything nice to say, shut up, Asher said resentfully. Then he stomped loudly down the rest of the stairs. Asher's room was spotless and had a faint, woody scent. I opened the window to let in some fresh air. A gust of wind blew a stack of files off his bookshelf. I bent down to pick them up. They were all my medical notes for Zoe from 3 years ago. At the very bottom was a sheet written by Asher. The handwriting was beautiful. Chloe, University Hospital. The words seemed devoid of emotion. And yet, they seemed to hold a world of restraint. I felt like I had stumbled upon a major secret. With trembling hands, I put everything back where it belonged. I crawled into bed and lay there like a corpse. I told myself not to overthink it. But the room was filled with Asher's presence. When I closed my eyes, his face played on a loop in my mind. I, shamefully, couldn't sleep a wink. The next morning, we gathered at the dining table. I had dark circles under my eyes. So did Asher. Mr. Ling looked 10 years older. Zoe was shocked. What happened? Did none of you sleep well last night? I stammered. I think I'm just not used to a new bed, Asher said. Me too. New bed. Couldn't sleep. Mr. Ling looked wearily at Asher. You can't sleep in a new bed, so you have to torture your old man. You were acting crazy all night. Every time I got up to use the restroom, you'd pop out and stare at me. It was so startling. I didn't get any sleep either. Asher was defiant. Who in their right mind gets up to pee 8 times in one night? Mr. Ling's lips trembled. I'm old. I have a frequent, urgent need to urinate, so I'm not normal. Is that it? He slammed down his chopsticks and left, humiliated. He had now been too angry to eat for 2 meals straight. No wonder he was so slim. Zoe chewed on a steamed bun. Asher can give you a ride to work later. I'm not going to drive you. I quickly refused. Please don't trouble Dr. Ling. I can just get a cab. Asher stood up. It's on my way. I can give you a ride for the next few days. He took out his phone, the tips of his ears turning red. Let's exchange contact info. I was debating how to politely decline. Zoe said, seriously, bro, you're giving a colleague a ride and you need to add her on an app so she can chip in for gas. It dawned on me. That's what this was about. I had been overthinking it. I quickly took out my phone and added him. Then I transferred him $600. Is this enough? Asher didn't speak. He just stared at Zoe, looking as if he had lost all will to live. On the way to work, Asher drove, his face as cool and distant as ever. To kill the awkward silence, I took out my phone and started scrolling through my social feed. And then, my world imploded. I discovered that last night, the cool and collected Dr. Ling had made a post. A new place was set at the table today. Cute. The picture was of the large bowl of rice in front of me. It also captured my right hand holding the chopsticks. Even though the image quality was compressed, it was not hard to see. That bowl of rice was packed super tight. I have a big appetite, and it was my first time eating at their house, so I was too embarrassed to get a second helping. So I had packed the rice down, trying to get more in one go. I was dying of embarrassment. What was even more explosive was the comment section. I could see the comments from our mutual friends. Serena had commented almost instantly. Who is this? Who? Leo, who must have recognized my bracelet, had left a series of frantic comments. She's at your house. What do you mean by this post? Tell her I'm at your gate to pick her up. You're a dead man. Just you wait. I slowly turned to Asher. Dr. Ling, why did you post something like that? Asher was calm. Everyone thinks I'm cold and unapproachable. I wanted to show my warm and hospitable side. I was a little speechless. Dr. Ling, how do you know Serena and Leo? Serena is a friend of a classmate. 3 years ago, when I went abroad to study, She came too. One day, this Leo guy added me on a messaging app and started saying all this weird stuff, even asking me to take care of her. I suddenly remembered. They said Serena had followed another boy abroad. It finally clicked. The guy Serena was chasing was you. Asher suddenly turned to look at me, his gaze incredibly serious. I have no relationship with her. We're not even friends. I quickly pieced it all together. So, for the past 3 years, you've been able to see every single post Leo made. Yes. I remembered our first meeting. How Asher had stared at me for a long time. He only snapped out of it when Zoe let out a blood-curdling scream. So, back at the hospital, the first time we met, you recognized me, didn't you? I asked. No, the order is wrong, Asher said, his eyes on the road. Every word he said pierced my heart. I met you at the hospital first. It was only later that I received a friend request from Leo, and saw you again on his feed. If I hadn't seen you on his feed, I wouldn't have had the patience to listen to his nonsense. And I definitely wouldn't have kept him as a contact until now. This information exploded in my brain. In the end, I grasped one main point. It meant that Leo, while he was already with me, still couldn't let go of his old flame. He had humbly sent those bizarre messages to the man his first love was interested in. My eyes stung with tears, and I was silent for a long time. Asher quietly handed me a tissue. Don't be sad. There are plenty of men out there. Just find a new one. I sniffled. The messages he sent you. Would you mind showing them to me? Asher froze for a few seconds. Then he said firmly, no. Fine. Don't show me. But why did he look as if I had asked to see him naked? For the next while, I stayed at Zoe's house at night and rode to work with Asher in the morning. Being constantly busy helped me get through the painful breakup period quickly. Asher was like a wild man slowly becoming civilized. He not only learned to care for others, but even started learning to cook. This made Mrs. Williams terrified that she was about to lose her job. The other victim was Dr. Evans, Asher's desk mate. Asher suddenly lost his love for working late. Dr. Evans was left to hold the fort alone, his hairline receding at a visible rate. Zoe praised him. The most abnormal person in our family is finally becoming normal. But I still thought he was a little abnormal. For example, before bed one night, he checked on me like one of his patients. How have you been feeling the last couple of days? Are you sleeping okay? I nodded. I'm used to it now. The next thing I knew, he had posted online. She's finally getting used to my bed. Cute. The picture was of my clothes hanging on his bedpost. The comments section must have been too vile. By the time I saw it, it was just a neat column of, this comment has been deleted. This comment has been deleted. I was dumbfounded. Dr. Ling. Was this post also to show your warm and hospitable side? Asher was peeling a pomelo for me, his expression calm. No. This one was to make the singles jealous. The first person to be tortured was Serena. Perhaps the torture kept her up all night. At the crack of dawn, she was waiting outside Asher's house, craning her neck. She wanted to see with her own eyes who this she was that Asher was posting about, driving her mad with jealousy. But her luck was terrible. Zoe, who usually slept in, had, for some reason, woken up early that day. When their eyes met, Zoe's smile was ferocious. Well, you just had to come looking for trouble, didn't you? She had been wanting to hit someone for a while. She was just constrained by the rules of civilized society. Zoe slowly rolled up her sleeves. She took a deep breath and roared, "Thief!" Then she charged forward, and a flurry of slaps and kicks ensued. Mrs. Williams, hearing the commotion, woke up groggily, grabbed a broom, and joined the fray. As Serena's cries grew more shrill, Mrs. Williams regained a sliver of her senses. Are we hitting her too hard? Zoe panted. If you don't hit a thief hard, will they learn their lesson? Mrs. Williams, your cooking is subpar, and your hitting is weak too. Hearing this, Mrs. Williams was instantly reminded of her precarious employment situation. To prove her indispensability, she rolled up her sleeves and hit with renewed teeth, gritting vigor. When security finally arrived, they had a hard time pulling Mrs. Williams off. Serena was covered in bruises, her face swollen like a pig's head, and she was crying so hard she could barely breathe. When I got to work, my first patient was Serena, who had just had her external injuries treated. She had just calmed down. But when she saw the bracelet on my wrist, the same one from Asher's post, she lost control again. It was you. It was you. You got close to him to get revenge on me. I held her down. Don't move during the exam. This equipment is expensive. You can't afford to break it. I accidentally pressed on one of her injuries. She yelped in pain. After she recovered, she behaved. And she quickly regained her composure. Knowing I was a pushover, she stared at me with a cold smirk. You must have been devastated by Leo's answer that night. You should understand that you and I are different. I'm the one he chased for 5 years and couldn't get. You're the one who threw yourself at him. Our places in his heart are worlds apart. Young love is the most powerful. Even if you two get married, I'll be a part of his heart for the rest of his life. She was smart. Every word was designed to be a dagger to the heart. Except, I didn't care anymore. Seeing me continue the examination with an unbothered expression, she lowered her voice and intensified her attack. And you know what? After you left that night, he took me home and stayed over. While you were tossing and turning, he was sleeping soundly next to me. That's the man you loved for 3 years. By the way, even though I caused you some pain, you should actually thank me. I helped you see him for who he really is, didn't I? I frowned, my expression serious. Serena smiled smugly. Weren't you so calm a second ago? Can't keep up the act. I shook my head. After a moment's thought, I printed out a report and handed it to her. The ultrasound shows a mass in your right breast. We can't rule out the possibility of breast cancer. I recommend a biopsy for further confirmation. Serena's smile froze. What? What did you say? Are you trying to scare me? Don't flatter yourself. I'm not that bored. I stood up, cleaned the equipment, and threw away the disposables. My composure was perfect. I even remembered to hand her the fruit basket on the table. This is from the people who accidentally injured you. Don't forget to take it. By the way, even though they caused you some pain, you should actually thank them. They helped you find this, didn't they? Serena's eyes went vacant, and her hands went limp. The entire basket of fruit spilled onto the floor. The day Leo came to the hospital to find me was a rare, sunny day. The lunch break was momentarily quiet. Seeing that I was alone, Asher came in, claiming he had chest tightness and heart palpitations, and begged me to give him a check. Up. Without waiting for my consent, he closed the door, took off his white coat, and lay down on the examination bed. One by one, he unbuttoned his shirt. He always looked so slim in his clothes. It was only when he unbuttoned his shirt that I saw the solid wall of muscle hidden beneath the sterile fabric. Seeing me just sitting there, he prompted, "What's wrong?" "Dr. Chloe, let's begin," I said earnestly. "For a chest exam, there's no need to unbutton your shirt down to your navel," Asher said. Oh, he slowly buttoned the lower buttons, hiding his impressive 8-pack. I disinfected the probe and applied the gel. When it touched his chest, his body trembled slightly. His breathing became uneven. "Dr. Ling, don't be nervous. Relax," I said with a smile. I moved the probe slowly across his chest. The room was incredibly quiet. Asher's eyelashes fluttered, and a blush crept up his face. "TCH, all talk and no game." Just then, Dr. Evans from next door burst in. "Is Dr. Chloe here?" His eyes fell upon his aloof, genius deskmate, currently shirtless on my examination bed. Dr. Evans shut his eyes in pain. Asher sat up and buttoned his shirt, his face instantly returning to its usual cool composure. I tried to suppress a laugh. "What is it?" "Dr. Evans." Dr. Evans spoke with his eyes still closed. "There's a green-plated Bentley downstairs, filled with bouquets. I think they're for Dr. Chloe." I paused. I pushed open the window and looked down. It was indeed Leo. He had been desperately trying to find me lately. He'd even booked an appointment to see me as a patient. After listening to his tearful confession, I had simply suggested he visit the psychiatry department next door to get his head checked. Clearly, he hadn't given up. He stood downstairs, surrounded by a sea of colorful flowers. When Leo saw me in the window, he began his tearful declaration. I was drunk that day. By the time I sobered up, the mistake was already made. I regret it every single moment. After I calmed down and thought about it, I realized it was just a lingering obsession from years of unrequited love. It was only after I thought I'd lost you that I realized The person I love most is already you. Chloe, can you forgive me? Can you let me pursue you again? Just like before. He looked at me with hopeful eyes. I used to wonder what Leo was like when he was young. Arranging a sea of flowers for Serena. He must have been bright and bold. His eyes full of the shy joy of first love. Not like this. A tangled mess of pain and regret. You can't have your cake and eat it too. I turned to Dr. Evans. That's not for me. That's clearly a public disturbance. You should get security to handle it before he pulls out a banner and someone posts it online. Our city was currently campaigning for a Civilized City award. Dr. Evans, hearing this, panicked and ran off to call security. Leo's declaration banner was still furled in his hands when a group of security guards pinned him to the ground with long, pronged poles. Leo craned his neck, trying to look up at the window to appeal to me. Instead, his eyes landed on Asher, standing beside me. His eyes reddened, and he started shouting, his words angry and muffled. You bastard. You're so cunning, lying in wait all this time just to steal my girl. Asher, you get down here. If you're a man, you'll come down here. His crying and shouting made him look even more like he was causing a scene. Dr. Evans yelled, quick, shut him up. Don't let him make any more noise. Leo's mouth was quickly covered with medical tape, and he was hauled off to the security office. I breathed a sigh of relief and closed the window. I turned around and saw that Asher had unbuttoned his shirt again. He sat there, looking wistful and a little shy. We didn't finish the exam. He took my hand and placed it on his chest. Dr. Chloe, can you check if my heart is racing? Asher x Leo chat history. September 23rd, 2021. You have added this person as a contact. Asher. Leo. Sorry to bother you. My name is Leo. I'm a good friend of Serena's. I was just wondering, is Serena doing okay in Germany? Asher. Who's Serena? Leo. The girl who followed you to Germany. Asher. There are too many. Can't keep track. If there's nothing important, I'm deleting you. Bye. Leo. Asher. Wait. Your profile picture is. Leo. Oh. That's me and my girlfriend. 20 minutes later. The time it took Asher to meticulously stalk his entire social media feed. Asher. You have a girlfriend, but you're asking about another girl's well-being. Leo. It's not that kind of concern. It's just, today is my birthday. My girlfriend planned this amazing surprise for me, and it was the happiest birthday of my life. I'm just so happy, and it made me think about how lost I was when I was chasing Serena. How my emotions were manipulated. It was no way to live. Asher. So, you're here to rub your happiness in my face and make me a single person feel bad. Leo. Hee. Just a little drunk and feeling sentimental. I used to hate her, resent her, but now I've let it all go. I hope she gets what she wants and is happy too. When you're surrounded by love, you want the whole world to be happy. Cute. Asher. Angry face. Leo. Alright. I feel much better getting that off my chest. Let's delete each other. Man. Thanks for listening. Asher. Wait. Now I don't feel better. Leo. What? Asher. I mean, your state of mind is all wrong. The fact that you're still thinking about her proves you're not over her. Leo. No. I think I am. Asher. No. You're not. Leo. Asher. Really? Trust me. You're too close to see it clearly. I'm an objective observer. Deep down, the person you love most is still Serena. Hey, which one was Serena again? Leo. Sends photo this one. Asher. Wow. She's beautiful. Really beautiful. Are you really okay with giving up on such a wonderful girl? Leo. If she's so wonderful, why didn't you say yes after she chased you for so long? Asher. Me? Well, I have some health issues. You know, I'm afraid of holding a girl back. So I've never accepted anyone. Leo. Oh, man. That sucks. Asher. Yeah, that's why I'm rooting for a healthy guy like you to go after what you truly want. Seeing you and Serena finally get together is my greatest wish now. Leo. But I really love my girlfriend. Asher. No. You're just temporarily moved by her actions, blinded by this immediate happiness. Besides, your girlfriend is kind of average looking. Any normal person would know who to choose. Leo. You call this average looking? The first time we met, when she approached me, It felt like my heart started beating again. Asher. See. You said it yourself. She approached you. How can that compare to the status of a girl you pursued? By the way, how did you get her to approach you? Leo. I don't know. I was in a bad place back then. Being cold to the whole world. I never thought my aloofness would be what captured her heart. Asher. Aloof. Cold to the whole world. Got it. Leo. Wait. After talking to you, my head is all messed up. Asher. It should be. A messy head means you're hiding something. Keep going. Man. Don't forget your true feelings. Don't give up on Serena so easily. Leo. Huh. Asher. Don't forget. Seeing you two get your happy ending is the greatest wish of a man like me. Who wants to but can't? Leo. Okay.